Thank you, Mr.
So how close are you to where you're at?
Right direction.
If you're wondering where you're going to start.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
The meeting is called order at 5:31. Everyone is in attendance. The board did meet in executive session and discuss the personnel in accordance with Indiana Code at 5 p.m. It is recommended that the minutes at the regular public meeting of June 17th, 2025 be approved with the additions, corrections, and deletions as recommended by the board.
So moved.
Motion by Jonathan, second by Bill. All in favor? Any public participation?
No.
It's recommended that the board approve accounts payable vouchers from June 17th to June 30th, 2025, from July 1st through July 15th, 2025. Also to approve payroll claims for June 20th and July 4th, 2025, to make payroll on July 18th, 2025, and August 1st, 2025. Motion by Christie, second by Todd. All in favor? 7-0. To approve contractual bus drivers accounts payable for the above dates. Motion by Barry, second by Bill. All in favor? 6-0. Financial reports. The recurring transfer from education fund to the operations fund to reimburse the operations fund for June 2025 expenses that are not allocated to student instruction and learning was made June 30th, 2025 in the amount of $168,062.65.
I just passed out the summary sheet. I have already emailed you guys. I finally got caught up and emailed the June financials out, so you have those as well. I played with them just for a little bit to ease my mind. Education wise, I think we'll be okay. It'll probably be break even or a little bit below, at least at the moment. That's what it's looking like. But that was just playing with it for a few minutes too, so I need to be more careful. And then operations wise, we are going to totally be fine in that fund. But I will try and, for when I do the July statements, make sure that I add in the budgeted numbers like I did last year so that you can see them for the whole year. And other than that, I don't have anything unless you guys do.
Does anybody have any questions? All right, resignations. The following resignations are to be recorded in the minutes. Emily Adams as Orleans Elementary School Clerical Assistant, effective June 13th, 2025, and Megan Murphy as Orleans Elementary Teaching Assistant, effective May 27th, 2025. Employment it is recommended that the board approve Megan Murphy as Orleans Elementary School Clerical Assistant for the 2025-26 school year. Pay and benefits for the staff handbook. Motion by Keith, second by Barry. All in favor? 7-0. It is recommended that the board approve Emily Adams to work up to 35 hours in July for training of elementary school clerical assistant, pay period to support the staff handbook.
So moved.
Motion by Jonathan, second by Bill. All in favor? 7-0. It is recommended that the board approve J. Kelly Hawk as a corporation preschool education bus driver for the 2025-26 school year at a daily rate of $95 per day. Motion by Keith, second by Bill. All in favor? 7-0. It is recommended that the board approve Joe Chisholm at the corporation AM vocational school bus driver for the 2025-26 school year at a daily rate of $73.50 per day. Motion by Barry, second by Bill. All in favor? 7-0. It is recommended that the board approve Paul Stroud as the corporation PM vocational driver for the 2025-26 school year at a daily rate of $73.50 per day.
So moved.
Motion by Jonathan, second by Christie. All in favor? 7-0.
Those big bus, small bus.
Probably driving a small bus, Jim, I have a big bus. So, kids, with more kids in the morning, but the afternoon,
I just
want
want
to
to
be
be
able
able
to
to
take
take
small bus.
Okay.
It is recommended that the board approve Sunshine Clement as a special needs bus driver for the 2025-26 school year at a daily rate of $95 per day. Motion by Barry, second by Keith. All in favor? 7-0. Conflict of interest forms. It is recommended that a conflict of interest form is signed for Keith Haggard due to a family member working for the school corporation.
So
Motion by Jonathan. Is that a second by Bill?
I was giving Christie a chance there.
Okay. All in favor? 601. Is recommended that a conflict of interest form be signed by Todd Hall due to family members working for the school corporation. Motion by Barry, second by Keith. All in favor? 601. It is recommended that a conflict of interest form be signed by Barry Bishop due to family members working for the school corporation. Motion by Todd, second by Keith. All in favor? 601. Authority to fill vacancies. It is recommended that the board grant Mr. Ellis the authority to fill any teacher or staff, support staff vacancies which may occur for the 2025-26 school year.
Currently, I don't anticipate teacher vacancies coming open, but you never know. End of the year, there is a chance of some movement. We do have a teaching assistant position that we're going to have to fill, so I do anticipate filling that one, but only one as of right now, unless something else happens unforeseen.
make motion.
Motion by Jonathan, second by Bill. All in favor? 7-0. Quotes. It is recommended that the board approve the quote from Indiana Door and Hardware in the amount of $4,660 for the new hardware and repairs on the west door and auxiliary gym at the Orleans Senior High School.
These are the glass doors that go out on the west side, over there by the storage area, replacing the hardware. On the-
Motion by Keith,
Sorry, John.
Those ones had problems.
Yes.
Derailed.
Yeah, right, yeah.
second by Todd. All in favor? 7-0. It is recommended the board approve the quote for the AAA construction in the amount of $6,355 for installation of the discus pad and shot put pad at the track at the Orleans Senior High School.
Dave Austin's company. He was the-
And they've looked at that from a safety perspective about throwing the discus inside the track.
Yeah, Mr. Smith, and that's one of the things they feel very confident, they make sure they do safe and be okay.
Motion by Barry. Second by Christie. All in favor? 7-0.
I'll add that the netting that's gonna go on that, will be more, come out farther than what we currently have to, for that very reason, to the stakes.
MOU for SRO.
That's correct, yes.
It is recommended that the board approve the memorandum of the understanding with the town of Orleans for school resource officers at the Orleans Elementary and senior high school as presented.
So this too, in the board packet, it's $65,000 for each SRO. That is an increase of about a little over $6,000 from last year. Last year was $59,272 for the SRO at the elementary and $64,500 for the SRO at the junior senior high school. The year before, we paid $68,000 for the SRO, when it was just one. Health insurance costs and other things, there's an increase this year a little bit. And then this is for this MOU is for 3 years with a 3% increase each year.
So moved.
Motion by Jonathan, second by Christie, all in favor? 7-0. Evaluation plan, it is recommended that the board approve the updates to the evaluation plan as presented.
Also sent this to you in the board packet. It was, Indiana codes changed quite a bit when it comes to evaluation plans. We're able to take out a lot of things that were no longer were needed. And we'll make it simpler, we'll make it more effective. Did discuss this with the union. They had some feedback. We made some changes based on their feedback as well. Talked to the administrators. This is just for the year, and we want to form a committee and then take a real good look at it this year. We have more time, get some teachers and building administrators on it, and put something together that we feel like is beneficial, that helps us, improve in the areas we need to improve in. So,
Motion by Keith, second by Christie, all in favor? 7-0. Unattainable motion, it is recommended that the board, untable, the
Sorry.
motion to approve the student handbook at Orleans Junior Senior High School.
We tabled this at our June meeting,
Mhm.
so we have to have a motion to untable it. We'll discuss it and take action.
So moved.
Motion by Bill, second by Barry, all in favor? 7-0. Handbook updates. It is recommended that the board approve the updates to the Orleans Junior Senior High School handbook as presented.
Sent you that in the board packet as well. Mr. Day worked on getting that all into one document. I had the extracurricular, co-curricular portion of that as well, and tried to, get something that's going to be effective for them, address the concerns you guys had in our June meeting. I asked him to be prepared to answer any questions you guys might have as well. But if you have anything that you want to ask.
Well, I want to thank him for his work. And I found myself really overwhelmed as I read that, trying to think about administering a school and remaining within those guidelines, because I tend to shoot from the hip and I probably forget what the guidelines were. So I commend you. I think we talked a little bit at a previous meeting about consistent application across all situations being essential. I think that's probably still valid. But a lot of work, obviously.
Yes. Any other questions?
Motion by Todd, second by Barry, all in favor? 7-0. First reading. The first reading of the proposed new revised and rescinded corporation policies, numbers, and title listed in attachment.
We'll include that policy numbers attached to when we do the minutes. I sent those to you if you have any questions, anything specific. Changes in the legislature oftentimes bring changes in policy and things we have to clean up. So that's what those are. If you have any specific questions before the next meeting, we have the second reading, please let me know. I'll do our best to answer them.
Toshiba DocuWare, it is recommended that the board approve the statement of services with Toshiba for DocuWare cloud storage of student records in the amounts below. Initial setup cost is $2,475. Monthly cost $306.
I was just gonna say, yeah.
Second.
Motion by Bill, second by Jonathan, all in favor? 7-0. Superintendent's report.
Okay, first thing I had was the back to school breakfast. We're already planning that. That will be Friday, August 1st. It'll begin at 8 o'clock and it'll be at the high school cafeteria. You all are invited to take part in that. Dilly's is catering that once again for us. We'll have all the staff there as well. Traditionally, the board president has given a little welcome after we eat. So you're certainly welcome to do that. Should you choose not to do that, we'll need somebody else maybe to volunteer to do that. But if you can do that, great. So we'll eat at 8, and then about 8:30 or so, we'll do a little welcome. Mrs. Lawyer, myself, Mr. Day will all say a little something. And then after that, the teachers and teaching assistants will hear a presentation. The bus drivers will meet in the library, and then the OCTA will meet after that presentation in the cafeteria. And then teachers and staff go to their buildings and either have meetings or work in their classrooms, depending on what the building principals want to do. And then on Monday, everyone reports their buildings, whatever the building principals have planned for that day. And then open house will be on the 4th, that Monday, from 5 to 6:30, and then at the elementary. And it'll be 5:30 to 7 at the high school. We're a little bit of a stagger in case you need to get to both, or we had some teachers who wanted to go to one or the other. We staggered out a little bit this year. So the first 2 days, August 5th. So right around the corner. Wow. So, which we started on August 5th last year. So that is that. State championship sign, talk to the town about that. They're checking on the size and what that allows the state championship sign to be. So when I have more information about that, I'll share that with the board. And then I'd like to schedule either a work session or a special meeting where we can hear a presentation from Policy Analytics about Senate Bill 1 and what that's going to impact our property taxes in their analysis. And then, of course, we want to do a work session at some point with talking about some strategic planning. So after the meeting, we may share some dates about what might work for the board, and then we'll get the advertising done as we need to be as well. Unless you guys have questions, that's all I've got. I will say Mrs. Lawyer is in Florida on vacation. I'm sure she's watching the meeting right now.
Probably so.
Yeah, so she's not here for a principal's report, but then Mr. Day is here. So if you have anything.
No, really. Just wanted to say thank you. Jamie and I were talking this past weekend, and tomorrow will be my 1-year anniversary here. So it was really the same time last year. It's crazy, isn't it? I mean, it's just this time last year I was meeting you guys for the first time. So, but anyway, thank you. It is a privilege to be able to work here, and I appreciate your support. Did you have any questions on any of the handbook stuff, or, you know, and I'll be honest with you, you probably wonder what you've been doing here lately. Well, we spent a lot of time trying to get, we had a lot of things that had to be fixed, data reporting wise, and it's the craziest thing in the world until you experienced it. It's just, yeah, there was probably not some very not nice words coming out of my office there at one point. But anyway, you guys have anything for me? Yes, sir.
Since you're the principal that's here, I want to speak to Joni too, but I think I'm repeating myself, but I'm going to say it one more time. We're starting a new year, and I'd never meant to infer that our student body was not well behaved in anything I've ever said. But I firmly believe that it's when 2 or 3 students can disrupt the school day and damage the teacher's success and the student's success, that's not acceptable to me. And I'm not saying we don't try to do that. I'm not saying that. But our culture just keeps drifting to work. No structure, no expectation in so many places. And I think when you come to school, there should be a structure to the day. There should be an expectation of how you conduct yourself. And if you speak in vulgar language to your classmates or to your teacher, there should be consequences. That's just an example. But I'm probably going to keep talking about this because I don't think the student body as a whole is the problem. But I do think there are students that ruin the day for everyone else. And obviously I have a passion about that. Now, whether I'm right or wrong, I guess is debatable. But as principal, you have my support to interact with these kids in a way that there's an expectation for structure and discipline. And I'll back you all the way. I don't know what that looks like. Obviously, you know all that I'm old fashioned and I have a remedy, but we can't use the remedy.
I use that remedy on my children.
Well, I got it quite a bit, but that's another story. At any rate, it's a new year, it's a new start, and I couldn't resist saying that. Forgive me for repeating myself, but that's where I'm at.
Yeah, and I want to pick up on that because one of the things that I've really been trying to brainstorm in my head is how we engage kids more, because I feel like we've talked a lot about athletics and extracurricular stuff. And I'm a firm believer that the more kids are engaged, the more they will behave better, be more in tune with what's going on and what we're trying to get accomplished expectation wise. And so I'm always asking myself, how can we get them more involved, right? And was speaking to someone and it could be simple things like, why don't we invite someone to come and give presentations to the board, certain groups, like we can bring the basketball team here and give them a proclamation that, great job. But again, getting them more involved, because it would be ideal in an ideal world, every kid would be involved in something, right? Because when they're involved in something, then the expectations are a little higher and they want to be involved. So they accept and, embrace those expectations. So anything that we can do, and we can talk about this when we get into work sessions and different things, but anything we can do as a school corporation, administration board to encourage these kids to be more involved, I think the better. And so, and then I think that goes right back to what Barry has said, which is expectations are high and we want them to be high here at Orleans, and we want our kids to embrace them, not be forced to adhere to them, but we want them to embrace them. So anything we can do to encourage, more clubs, more band, more athletics, whatever we can do. Obviously, we have some budget constraints and time constraints and resources, but anything we can do to get these kids involved, we should be doing all out to get them engaged. So I think that just goes along with what Barry said.
We'll do the best we can.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Late items, yep. Beacon Credit Union. It is recommended that the board approves, the purchase of a 9-month CD at 4.5, percent APY for $750,000, from Beacon Credit Union.
I assume that's the Mid-Southern that's on the.
Correct.
Yeah.
Motion by Barry, second by Todd, all in favor,
I'll be abstaining.
601. Quote, it is recommended that the board approve the quote from Edmonton, in the amount of $24,621.70 for the assessment and remediation software to be paid, for out of the curricular materials fund.
You had mentioned something earlier that this is something that we pay for ongoing, and it was under a multi-year contract before. So approximately what were we paying per year?
Paying about, remember, like 17,000 a year,
The 17 or around.
15 to 17,000.
So it's,
Yeah.
so that's a relatively big jump. Is it because it's going to a single year contract and you said they
No.
won't let us?
We'll get a
Or-
little bit of discount. It's because we're, one is inflation. We did that 3 years ago, so that's part of it.
Got it? Okay.
Okay, and the other part is we're using the service a little differently. Because we're taking advantage of a couple of features like the SAT prep
Mhm.
that we had in the past.
Okay.
And some of those items are directly related to some of our school goals as well.
Okay.
Our school improvement plan.
Yeah.
So we'll be doing a couple of things, hopefully, that we haven't been doing before.
And this is something that'll come up every year now.
Hopefully, if it goes well this year, we'll do a multi-year contract with them or someone else in the future. But we want to make sure we get it right this year, make sure it works, it does what we want it to do before we commit to more than 1 year.
But we've used this same,
Yes, we have.
okay.
We've had mixed results, and we use it a little differently. And so as we use it differently, we want to make sure it's going to do what we want to do before we commit more money to it.
Motion by Todd, second by Phil, all in favor? 7-0. Invoices. It is recommended that the board approve the July invoice from SiteLogic in the amount of $2,000 to be paid from the First Mortgage Bond Series 2023.
So moved.
Motion by Jonathan, second by Keith. All in favor? 7-0. It is recommended the board approve the July invoice from ECS Southwest LLC in the amount of $114 for the testing work completed as part of the weight room project at the Orleans Junior Senior High School. Motion by Barry, second by Keith. All in favor? 7-0.
Are they still on schedule?
Yeah, I mean, I think they'll be close. We finish by the time school starts, is what I was told last week.
Okay, so just curious.
Now,
With the rain,
yeah, I mean, no, because they've got the roof on, and, you know, right now they're waiting for some concrete to cure and some of the mortar to cure and stuff inside. So things on, but yeah.
And when- They'll be done, and then what we approved previously, the equipment has been ordered and,
They started, and
okay,
it's not
good.
all been here yet.
Yeah. Good.
It is recommended the board approve the payment application from Cypher Construction in the amount of $177,259.64 for work completed as part of the weight room project at the Orleans Junior Senior High School. Motion by Barry. Second by Christie. All in favor? 7-0. Support staff handbook. It is recommended that the board approve the support staff handbook as presented.
The changes to support staff handbook right now are going to be on the transportation part of the pay scale. We'll look at the rest of the non-cert pay scale at a later date, once we get a little bit more better idea what we're doing collective bargaining with the Teachers Association. But we're going to look at raising the transportation portion of the support staff handbook right now.
Motion by Bill, second by Todd. All in favor? 7-0. Employment. It's recommended that the board approve the following individuals to coach the 2025-26 school year sports. Varsity softball coach Will Owens, varsity softball assistant Corey Combs, and varsity baseball coach Jason Russell. Motion by Todd Hall,
Second.
second by Jonathan. All in favor? 7-0.
I've got a quick question.
Yeah.
Who seconded the support staff handbook above that?
Todd.
Thank you.
Elementary handbook updates. It is recommended that the board approve the updates to the Orleans Elementary School handbook as presented.
The only update, this is where we make the handbook this year, that revolved around the attendance. And I said that in the packet.
Mhm.
That's the only update she's made for that.
Motion by Bill. Second by Christie. All in favor? 7-0. And then one last late item was the HFI quote. It's recommended that the board approve the quote from HFI in the amount of $14,625 for the replacement and relocation of the condensing unit and the exterior walk-in freezer at the Orleans Junior Senior High School to be paid from the first bond series 2023. Motion by Keith,
Second.
second by Jonathan. All in favor? 7-0. Adjournment. It is recommended that the meeting be adjourned at 5:59 PM. Motion by Todd. Second by Barry. All in favor? 7-0.
Support that.